Aloha! I am Sila, and today in this video I wanted to talk a bit about the intention that we engage, that we choose to direct our expansion in every moment. And so let me state that in every moment we hold focal points in that we direct our attention a certain way. Let's say I distribute my attention throughout my body, a bit through my energy field, through my senses, maybe currently a bit more through my sight, my eyes, maybe a bit of hearing. Sometimes I forget to smell and so on. And it is usually tailored towards the everyday actions that I engage. When when I live through days like recently and I decide to stay a lot in front of the PC, then obviously my sensitivity and my sovereignty, my playfulness with my own energy kind of decreases because I don't invest into keeping it flowing, into staying there, well, let me say, really present with what is going on, what I'm doing, or what I'm not doing, or how I may clean myself or keep myself in a rather clear state. So usually all our abilities are expanded in a way where we acknowledge and appreciate what we do, and so we may apply this direct and pure form of love in every moment and really pay attention and notice what we're actually doing, but also be really intentional with what do I pay attention to, what is currently important, what do I want to, well, maybe explore or really build myself towards in the future. Let's say currently I think I might engage really more of the play and the manipulation with vibration. So I may structure my days more so that I am in nature and I'm using my voice more deliberately in each moment, and I'm seeing how may I really direct my whole energy when I sing or hum or speak or even listen inside. Now, the reason that I am talking about this is I think it's important because all of us are special, all of us are unique and different, and it may be at times difficult to accept all our differences and the details of where we may distinguish our identity or signature, how we may choose to even become more different in the future. But let's apply nurturing again and love to ourselves and then extend it to others and just be patient with what we do. So let's say, or let me put it like that, I believe in this century we may develop all kinds of superpowers and crazy abilities that we may have deemed quite impossible in the past, or rather hard to attain, and it can become, and it will become for many of us super easy really through the use of the deliberate use of our energy, our inner senses and outer senses, to be just playful with our imagination, with imagining what we may do, or really letting us be excited by the overview or visualization of our choices when we engage a relaxed state and really let all the inspiration come to us, so to speak. And when I say that, I really believe that many of us may develop powers, abilities to a degree which even I have a hard time picturing right now, or coming up with the possibilities or the theoretic realization or boundaries. As you may know, there are really no boundaries, especially when we keep expanding, and love is of course the foundation for this expansion. Love for self, and that we are essence. Like I may do another video about the Black Energy Center, but for now, let me state that when we engage joy and we really pay attention to what is pleasurable in each moment, maybe it is a certain way that we move, or we use our voice, or we even pay attention to what our senses are inputting, whatever it is. And it may be something specific in a specific area, like what somebody's doing as a hobby or as an occupation of a job, or how somebody's interacting with a human or a plant or the air, and so on. And it's all really important to pay attention to what is pleasurable, because when we keep on investing to and keep on noticing, of course appreciating and acknowledging what is pleasurable to us, then we also expand our not only definition but also our deep understanding of who we are through pleasure, because through pleasure we expand the easiest and the fastest and the most genuine, or let me say most coherent with ourselves. It's not that we expand into some formalized concept of who somebody else thinks we should be, or how we taught ourselves to grow up, but we develop more and more genuineness and become super unique and, well, individual. We become our truest form, so to speak, when we follow and investigate into experiencing and creating more and more pleasure for ourselves. And this is also what is valued not only the most by us, but also the most when shared by everything else in consciousness, including all people on this planet. So it's not, well, it may seem in the beginning that, oh, we are selfish because we choose to engage here a bit more of self-love, or massage us, maybe engage in some singing which doesn't seem even so productive, or take a walk to get the free head or to relax your body. It may seem like it's not contributing to much in the moment, but when we actually pay attention, it changes not only our energy but also the whole collective. We create these ripples through, or these waves individually, and they build towards collective waves, and they ripple out in all moments, and all people around us also then suddenly are more inclined to choose for themselves something that is pleasurable. And when we engage this collectively as bigger groups, then we build towards futures which are more easy, more fun, more pleasurable, just more efficient. Not only in terms of, oh, what we do in our spare time. This distinction between spare time and we must be productive, it will diminish, it will completely be neutralized, and we will also technologically and, for instance, in our current directions of science, completely engage new forms of creativity and freedom, and, well, the efficiency with how we may do this when we use more, let's say, not only abilities but more avenues of our communications of self in these directions, well, may completely surprise us, because as a species I can pretty much guarantee that we will create new wonders in every decade or every year that is to come, because we are unlocking us. We are really unlocking our abilities by engaging pleasure, by creating more freedom that we may just act upon in each moment. to see more of our choices, to create more choices with every taken step of choosing just differently and, well, with no concern really, or no worry about the future. Just choose, and if a choice turns out to not be to your preference, then we also have that input to choose afterwards with more wiseness as to what our preferences are. And so let's all be encouraged to be nurturing and loving of self, and ask ourselves, what is our preference individually, and maybe what is our vision for our collective or global probable future. And every one of us will choose a slightly different global future, and together we may come to agreements and form these, well, miraculous futures. But let's be with every choice intentional, because in every moment we may appreciate what is going on, what is nuanced, new to us, what is really so wondrous now, what may we not only perceive, but how have we actually created this perception. And by accepting that, by appreciating that, we may choose differently and be reminded, with our projection of perception, we configure and create our whole reality, like in very literal and physical or material terms even. For me personally, there is barely any distinction between energy and matter, but there is, of course, a different density, a different time element involved in many of these processes, and how instantly we may be affecting through energy or our perception. And sometimes, and this is again important with intention, some habits take time and energy to change, because we have been building a lot of time, let's say in my case, I have been creating some habits for most of my life, so it may take still, from my current perception or view, some years to really change and fresh everything up, so that I am more free, that I am more of a genuine version of myself as I currently picture it. But of course, there are a lot of choices that we are engaging in the future. And so, let's be intentional, and the joy is always ours. And again, we don't have to follow any feeling, any emotion, any concern or worry or guilt from the past. Like, let's be present and choose. Appreciate the messages and communications we get from ourselves, and be intentional with what we create, always. Therein lies our importance, I want to say empowerment and freedom, individually and collectively. I am Sila. Aloha.